Feature Friday.
The freshest. Sup people, welcome to Feature Friday. Today is Friday and we're checking out Indian dance for the first time, and I have to say I'm really excited for this one.
Yeah, we're gonna check out from different states and different parts of India, which is really nice. Obviously quite impossible to try and check out everything, but what we've tried to do is we've tried to come up with a list of maybe I think 10 plus sort of styles, or 7 plus styles. And they're short clips. Some of them are quite long, some of them are quite short, but at least so we can get a taste for them, and then hopefully if you guys do enjoy the podcast, then I think we'll be more than happy to do a part 2, which would be great, and then we can kind of dive into the ones that we haven't seen. There's also, I guess, for this podcast I would say get your popcorn and snacks, because we're going to class. Genuinely,
don't say that, that's boring.
Because we're gonna try and also understand the dancers and maybe read a bit about them and stuff.
I don't know to what depth, from
deep.
No, but I mean to what depth into understanding the dance styles, because each dance style, it's a whole a whole world. To explain it in a simplistic, from a dancer's perspective. So I wouldn't say we're going in super deep, because we have no knowledge, but embark into the discovery, because that's the first thing we're gonna do. Discover things.
But yeah, exactly. But we're gonna try and obviously go deeper than usual, because that's why we decided to do it in a podcast, so we can actually it's kind of what have we done over first times.
It's similar to how we did Indian classical.
Yeah, that was fucking deep, dude. But anyway, so enjoy our song.
Dressed up in poems, I wrote on the rails of the platform left for the lonely. I walked out in red, I wore my hair straight, kept my tears in for the journey, and now I wonder where we're going, 'cause if it isn't here, I wonder from where you're calling, and I wonder where we're going, buscando girasoles en el medio del desorden. El silencio se enredó en mi cabello y las palabras se atascaron en mi cuello. Entre el mar y el viento, me encuentro perdida en este tren sin tiempo. And I wonder where we're going, 'cause if it isn't here, I wonder from where you're calling, and I wonder where we're going, buscando girasoles en el medio del desorden, en el medio del desorden. En este viaje sin tiempo, los días pasan y me quedo sin aliento. The map of this journey finds me, y ya no tengo casa, y me faltan estaciones, voy con calma, but you still haven't found me, and I wonder where we're going, 'cause if it isn't here, I wonder from where you're calling, and I wonder where we're going, arrastrando girasoles en el medio del desorden, en el medio del desorden.
So it's like you took happiness from its roots. So to some extent, you kind of took happiness away, like a sunflower, and dragged it along. It's like this idea of happiness is this glistening ball that you can just every time you have it, it's always shining, and it's always the same, but it really isn't.
Sunflower is what it would.
The spectacle of happiness, but it's already broken because he took it out of the room. Our other couple of announcements is like we have some dates coming up. So we're opening a show at the 1MX Festival here in London. Tickets available right now. It's also a great way for you to get to meet us. We'll be playing as well, and also you get to discover different music and different sounds from the Filipino music industry. There's also some huge names in there, so I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Great food, good atmosphere.
Use this code for getting £5 off of your tickets.
Oh
purchased.
yeah. You can go visit the website and stuff. Everything will be in the link in the description. And apart from that, anything big? No guests? Nothing. We are in the works for some stuff. It's just a lot of this. Like I think when I announced like Jubin, right? We had been on the works with Jubin for like
6 months.
Yeah, literally. So sometimes it does take that long. Hopefully, it doesn't take this long for our next guest. It's just they're busy people, and also times quite difficult because of the time differences. And also our schedules, but hopefully you get some cool stuff from the Indian music industry soon. Okay, let's give the first one a go.
All right, so this is Bharatanatyam. I do apologize.
Damn, that one's hard.
This is hard. But
put it up so people can see it.
It's kind of hard, but it's a pretty big stage, and it's perfectly well lit. So
yeah, we're probably gonna check out a few videos from this channel because they have like really. It's called Indian Raga,
and this video has 18 million views. So let's go.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Ooh, cool. Oh, she's got beautiful eyes.
Even the fingers.
Oh wow, how great! Oh my god, those arms isolations.
That's
wow!
sick.
That's absolutely stunning. Even the attire is just part of the choreography.
I'm expecting that video. Oh shit. I think she held her foot up with the...
Ooh! This is beautiful. See, I don't know anything about the technical stuff from this particular style. Well, I would, even if it's like learning classical Indian singing. You would have to like start from zero.
No, but you can understand bits and bobs, you know?
No, but let me highlight what I'm trying to get to here. It's really interesting because what I was looking at directly close, what struck me from a dancer's perspective is their core stability is freaking unmovable. They are a wall in the upper body end of these things. Obviously they have really strong legs, because even though they're on a plie section, a lot of the times go into like ballet terms, they're on a bended knee quite often, so their quads work really like a lot, like they're taking most of the work, but they're really light on their feet, and that only comes from like an incredibly stable abdominal wall that allows them to also be like super easy to move and maneuver around places. But what's really cool though, it's their breathing technique as they're trying to maintain those freeze frame moments, like for example
they're
this
stiff, bro. Like
it's not stiff.
So you can't move them.
See, this is beautiful because even though it's like a piqué type of thing, like
I don't know what that means.
A rotiri, like okay, so it's a lift of the leg on a 90 degree, like that's what it is basically. But it right there, then they're in a bit of like a limbering first position, so their foot is a little bit turned out, which means that you have to put your body weight towards the ball of your foot, And if you see their upper body is contrabalancing that, so they're moving their upper body towards the knee.
Counterbalance.
Counterbalance, yeah. So it creates this really cool like counterbalance effect, but that's not enough. Like it all comes from this area here, and it's incredible because even their breathing changed.
Yeah, I
into
mean that's what I meant by stiff. It looks like, I reckon if I kick him or something, they would just stay there like a pole.
They're just so great. It's clean. You see, look at that breathing is fantastic. That is so hard.
It's good workout. You like?
It's incredible.
I told you.
Yeah, their upper body frame is beautiful. Oh, this is really cool.
I love the connection between the tabla and the choreography. It's so sick.
This is hypnotizing to watch though.
That's it. See, nothing goes unrepresented. Sound-wise?
Absolutely everything is involved. They're also part of the song with all the bangles that they're wearing. With the jingly stuff, the bells.
That's so weird looking, dude.
It's impressive what you can do with only 3 dancers in this style. They've got such angular lines though.
At some points, at some points, it looks so like refined, each movement. It looks like CGI.
Yeah, they've got such angular, even like
It looks
if
like its
you
own
look at
creature or something.
Yes, exactly. It's
Maybe that's where the signs are, because there's that. I've seen that. I think I said it in the previous one, but we were watching Kathak dance. Was it Marathi? Was it Marathi? No, it was. No, it wasn't Marathi. It was what was the one that the Agam? The Agam
yeah.
sort of cover. Can't remember what style that was. Southern. You did say it. It was from the south.
It's from the south, but I don't know if it was like Kathak.
No, it wasn't Kathak, because Kathak is northern.
Oh well.
Because it goes alongside like.
Oh, yeah, we're all out here learning.
Of course. But
Sorry.
if I don't know what the fuck my point was, but it just looks like CGI. Like it looks, sometimes it doesn't even look real. And what I was saying was, in some of the pictures of the gods, they also do these poses and stuff.
Correct.
Which I'm not gonna try to replicate.
Well, you
because they have 7 arms. A lot of them.
You do understand really early on into like this discovery of dance, Indian dance, classical and folk, that they're really intertwined with the deities and the religion itself.
Right? Yeah.
So, well, as you can
This
see
is
it
Tamil.
here. Yeah, this is from the Tamil state.
Yeah.
Tamil Nadu.
Yeah.
So it's part of the Indian classical dance.
I can read it, mate. Because I
Okay,
know
fair
you're
enough.
struggling with yours. Just zoom in, like we always do. The dance is a form of briefly mentioned in the Kannada text what the fuck? Manasoyasa, written by Somesvara the third. It has flourished in the temples and courts of southern India since ancient times. It is one of the 8 widely recognized Indian classical dance forms and expresses South Indian religious themes and spiritual ideas, particularly Shaivism and Vaishnavism and Shaktism, collectively Hinduism. I see. So one of the things with the podcast I think is really important to sort of highlight, because we sort of ask the community and stuff like that, like, what should we check out? What's the thing that has the most interest in the community? What do you think would be a good thing? Like, if people that don't know anything about Indian dance, Indian classical dance, come to the podcast and they can kind of learn with us along the way. And then you guys gave us like, a bunch of recommendations, but you also gave us, I think, one of the best comments, which was like saying, I think it may be important to highlight that there's like 2 different types of dance in India. There is Indian classical dance, which is what we're gonna be checking out first, like Kathak, like this one, I don't know how to say that one. That one's quite long. And there's gonna be other ones, classical ones, and then there's other Indian folk dance, which is more like in the more traditional sense of folk. They may be more folkloric and cultural rather than classically induced or classically intertwined with music, and in terms of its origins. This may be perhaps more, what would you call it?
Contemporary to like the 19th century type of things, like not
rather than historical,
not depicted by written scripture.
I see.
So that's what I've understood.
So and one of the comments here said like Indian classical dances have 2 basic aspects. So the first one is
shout out Indian monk.
Yeah, it's called Trandava, which is the movement and rhythm, and then Lasya, which is grace, Bhava, and Rasa, which I think means like sort of like how well executed or graceful a movement might have been.
It's like the mannerisms and the fluidity of the movement, perhaps. Maybe. Again, these are just trying to like shot in the dark.
And it goes. The 3 main components are Natya, which is the dramatic element of the dance, like the imitation of the characters, because that's the other thing. A lot of the times they are in classical dance, they are not only like dancing, because we thought it was more like it's like an offering kind of thing to the god,
but they're like recreating scripture. So sometimes they're the gods themselves.
Exactly, they're the characters. They represent the characters. They're basically dancing prose, basically. And then you have what the fuck? How do you say that? Enrita.
Okay.
Because that's a mad one. You can't say an N and an R at the same time.
And I would say the N individually, like I don't know.
Yeah, it's impossible, right? In Spanish.
The dance movements in their basic form.
So this is more just technique, I guess.
Like like the technical core of the.
And then Enritia, which is the expressional component. These are the gestures and the faces and the looks of the eyes, I would imagine, that are so apparent in some of the dances.
It's like a lot of the times are choreographed in. Well, I think majority.
And then it says that there are 9 rasas. Which mean like love, heroism, pathos, humor, anger, fear, disgust, wonder, and peace. The Natya Shastra, written by Bhangra, is the most prominent source for the Indian aesthetics for establishing the characteristics of the dance. Okay, that's enough info, I guess. Yeah, so the first one is Tamil, right? So I'm going to try and say it again. Fuck it up. How about no?
Okay. Yep, that was my guess. So that was my best shot at it.
So what he's saying is that a lot of the time is they're taking many different characters in one form,
correct,
in one dance. Hence why you kind of see the depiction of different sort of like I don't want to call them creatures, but that's kind of what it looked like. Like it looks like
it's deities. They're recreating deities at a lot of the time. Yes. So okay. So now we're moving to Kathak dance, which is from the northern part of India.
We have seen this.
So from the south to the north, all the way now.
We have seen bits and bobs of this.
Yes, we actually saw a TED Talk performance of this for the first time when you guys were firstly introducing us into the Indian folkloric dance for the first time. But this is classical, I think.
This is classical.
Counts as classical.
Yeah, it is classical. Yeah. There are 2 things as well I should keep in mind. We're probably gonna do regardless another Indian dance podcast for the commercial side of things, because there are a bunch of unreal dance groups in India. Then we're not gonna check out any of that today. We're gonna kind of see the origin of everything in India, and then we'll translate. In maybe in a few weeks and stuff like that. We'll check out kind of the commercial dance. We'll see the lads. We'll see the girls that are so famous in like India's dance competitions, and also like street style dance and stuff like that. But yeah, let me sneeze.
Alright, Kathak song. This song. Nice cinematography. You know what's interesting though? Even though the core of the regions are vastly different, and this style of dancing is vastly different to the one we just saw from the south, there are a lot of elements that carry on, like the body frame and that impeccable ability to move on stage. I wonder why those roots maintain themselves across the continent, like across the country itself. Sorry, because it's given the fact that it's such a big country, you would think that the core of the dance itself would change too, because like for example, when you study like the history of ballet, certain regions of Russia had different versions of the style, but
still ballet though.
Yes, but even though the core techniques were the same, it was visually very different, and I think there's like some similarity to that concept here too. That even like I don't know, but what I'm trying to ask is like, what is it that is the foundation, and why is it repeated certain aspects, across the country, like.
Well, from what we know with Indian classical music, is northern and southern, right? The main sort of classical styles. You got Hindustani, and then you have Carnatic, right? Carnatic from the south, Hindustani from the north. So even though they are quite different, they are still quite similar because it's still from India.
Yeah.
And still a lot of the same instruments are utilized. So I would imagine it's the same. It's like the root of all dance. I mean, maybe what you're asking is which one's the root of everything?
No. Yeah, okay.
Like what's the oldest one? And then things, because people obviously change.
Migrated and changed.
Yeah, go to different parts of India, and then also there's different religions, different interpretations, different beliefs, and then dance. Because for example, like
adapted,
it would be like
naturally.
similar. It would be like a similar dance, but it would be with a completely different characters, or a completely different prose, a completely different scripture. But it would be the same dance, the same style of dance, but it's simply this is completely different because you're dancing to a different god. Mm-hmm. You see what I mean? So maybe that's sort of what's happening. Happening?
Could be. Thank you for aligning my thoughts.
I don't know. I just presume, because I just
yeah.
presume it would be like that, because given that this is Indian classical, I guess the main difference would be like one's from the north, one's from the south.
Yeah.
Maybe some is more Carnatic, another one is more classical Hindustani.
Yeah, my question, that's really origin, like
So who's the what's the origin?
Yeah, like towards the originator.
Yeah. That's sick.
So it's common to dance in trios.
It seems.
But you see how
I love
great,
Kathak. It's so nice to look at.
they're such great movers though.
That's sick. Alright, T-Series, I see you, dog.
It's so energetic yet so controlled. Like it's such a. Ooh.
I think, Brocky, no, they
what
are
the hell?
attractive as
That
hell.
that happened so quick. I didn't even know it finished.
I think the reason why, and I can understand as well, like when you look at these movies like Death Das or like Bajirao Mastani, and then they always dance, right, for the kings and stuff.
Yeah.
Bro, yes. Like I so get it, because especially with those types of dances, like I see it's kind of gimmicky now when I look at Western movies that have like scenes like that you can definitely tell where they trying to get it from, you know what I mean? And then It's like, yeah, no one would dance like that back in those days.
Yeah,
Idiot. You know,
that's
it would be
right.
closer to this. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to these kingdoms. But like when you look at old Western movies that really didn't have that. Well, obviously, you know, the world's become so connected in the last 20 years through the internet and stuff. You had to kind of travel there and stuff like that to learn. But I genuinely see the historical effect that shit had, because it's like, especially with that one, I think with Kathak, you can really tell it's such a charming and like
It's a hypnotizing dance
hypno-
art form.
hypnotizing. I say the previous one. This one I say is like charming. Like you like it exemplifies female energy to the best of its ability.
Right.
It's
okay.
charismatic. It's delicate. It's energetic, but it's also lovable. It's
it's-
adorable. It's fucking great. I love it.
I wouldn't use the word adorable, but it's
Well, the facial expressions, the
No,
smiles, and the cute and shit.
I don't think it's adorable. No, I think it's more towards the idea of amicable, like approachable. Yes, like you feel like this is like, I don't know, like yeah, they're very amicable people.
Amicable. That shit makes you fall in love, not amicable.
No, I don't.
It's not friendly.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's more like lovable. Like this person radiates love.
Oh,
That's what I feel.
okay.
Yeah. And
Fair enough.
she's sort of just utilizing that energy and just putting it out. And that's kind of how, like, I would never imagine them to be, like, mean people. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
at least maybe they could be. Maybe they could be pricks. Who knows? But when they dance,
Okay.
it's as if, like, wow, this woman's stolen my heart. Now,
Yes,
I understand
yes,
those
yes,
scenes.
yes,
You see what I mean?
I
I understand
agree, I
those scenes
agree.
because it's like, you tell me, you look at that shit, and you just look at these women, you're like, why do I like this person? She could be a pain in the ass. Who knows? You know what I mean? But it's fantastic. Anyways, Kathak is one of the 8 major forms of Indian classical. I'm not sure if we're going to check out all 8. Again, we should probably do at some point, but let's dip our toes a little, because fuck me. And you also, I think also we have to understand that, like, people from all over the world are watching.
Yes.
And the intent of this is to obviously spread, the knowledge of Indian dance and also the culture, and for us to learn, and other people also to come here and think of it as a hub for them to learn as well. I think if we go too deep, then we might lose people along the way.
I know, and the whole idea is for you to also share some of that information that you might have grown up with and that we obviously are missing out on, and and help us learn with the rest of the world.
So, 8 forms of Indian classical. It is the classical dance form of Uttar Pradesh. The origin of Kathak is traditionally attributed to the traveling bards of the ancient northern India, known as Kathakas or storytellers. The term Kathaka is derived from the Vedic Sanskrit. I apologize if I'm pronouncing Kathak incorrectly. It might be Kathak or Kathak.
Maybe Katake?
Katake.
Katake?
Wandering Kathakas communicated stories from the great epics and ancient mythology through dance, songs and music. I would love to, once we do release the new channel, which we are starting to work on it, which is fucking fun with the movie reviews. I would love to watch a movie in which it would try and depict as much mythology as possible,
Oh, that would be cool. But
intertwined with music.
listen to this really cool fact. The word katha means story. Kata means story, and katakar means the one who tells the story,
or to
So-
do with stories.
So it's like medieval times. What did they used to call them? In the West.
The bards,
No, they're not bards.
like in The Witcher, the guy that sings.
Yes.
He's a fucking pain in the ass.
Yeah, but what is the? It's
Not a baron.
no. Well, this is gonna be hard.
Jaskia.
Yeah,
What's his
yeah,
name?
But no, what? It's not his name.
No,
it's
I mean
his
job.
Yeah, he was. Whew.
Put it on. Just put Jaskia, The Witcher.
How
With
do
a
you
Q.
spell that?
Q.
Here,
I like
just here,
Yeah, The Witcher.
The Witcher.
I think it's with a K, yeah.
What
He
was
is
he?
a...
Was a
Click on-
bard. Yeah, a
Yeah, bard, right?
bard.
Yeah, I thought that's what they're called, yeah.
A bard.
Yeah, bard, because they go in bars and they sing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
yes.
that. I love that series, by the way. I think
So
season
I-
2, it was alright. Season 1, it was just
I
great
liked
to
it.
have a season. It's just great to have a series that... Because I like the geezer a lot. I like that guy, Henry Cavill.
Oh, Henry Cavill.
Superman. He is, I think, great.
Superman.
If-
you know.
If The Witcher was true, it would look like him.
He would be it in real life.
Genuinely.
Yeah.
I just think the series is about everything else but him.
It kind of sucked.
Yeah.
The second, yeah, I agree.
It's like I want to get to know him a bit closer.
Listen, if there is a show or like a series like that,
That's banging.
that it's about in the Indian mythology,
Yeah, that's banging. That's what I mean.
let me know.
I think people are quite excited about Brahmastra because of...
Brahmastra.
Is it Brahmastra? What the fuck is that? Yeah, it is.
That's the one with like all
Kathakali,
the
right?
gods, and he's like,
I think it might have to do something with Indian
Holy
mythology.
Indians.
I think people are quite excited because it's been a while since you had like, from what I hear in the comments, I don't fucking know. And I don't trust the comments with all my heart, especially the ones that are not in our channel. That say like, it's the first time that like in a while that like India, like Bollywood I guess, has had a movie about like gods.
Indian mythology.
Mythology at such a high visual effects level.
Cool.
Because I think the old ones kind of look like figurines made out of plastiline. The same way that if you look at that movie Titans or some shit that my mom used to watch in the 70s, if you look at it now, it would make me want to puke. I hate bad effects. That's like one of my huge pet peeves. Bad visual effects make me want to puke.
That. I hate bad acting.
Same.
Like, I cannot stand that. Even if you put the,
Vale, the acting's great, but the visual effects are bad.
I don't care.
There's something wrong though.
I work through it.
You're like, huh?
No, see, I can work through it. I can stomach that, especially if it's vintage cinema. I can stomach.
Okay, so let's move to Kerala. This is Kathakali. This one is called. So maybe it's like what would you call it? Like a
Kathakali.
derivate from Kathak. I'm not sure. Let's give it a watch. It's called Onam.
Kerala. Where is
Sorry.
Kerala? We'll figure it out. Wish you a happy on.
So probably this is more folk.
Ooh, I don't know. Ooh.
Indianvideo.org.
How do they move like the eyebrows so quickly? Did you see that? Did you miss the eyebrow dancing? Look how fast. Bro, how? Oh my god. That is so cool. Okay, all the choreography is happening in the face. That is so amazing.
Where's his face? Oh, it's on the top.
Oh, it's not a mask.
I think that's genuinely their face. Just painted.
Yeah, I thought
it was a mask, yeah.
So I thought it was a mask.
It's like a mini tabla. O it's a dolak. Oh, look at the nails. Whoa, that one is ominous as fuck.
Correct. This is really interesting.
Can you pull it back to see if I can catch the instrument? What the hell was that? It was so high frequency that the skin,
I think it's wood.
Play it. Oh, that's a drum thing.
Is it like a wedding ceremony? Is it like a mating? Like, wow.
That's sick.
It's just the facial expressions that are so fascinating. They're telling a story with the face.
So it's really intriguing because they never make eye contact.
Yeah, with each other they don't.
I guess actually that's quite symbolic. I'd love to. I mean, we'll have to read about this, but that's quite symbolic
definitely.
because I guess to a certain extent with gods, you never really, like I say you worship them or say you are sort of a dancing pro, so you're dancing the scriptures. One would imagine that you wouldn't like have direct contact with them. It would be like it'd be like speaking through a phone kind of thing, right? You make an act like it's the same as like in South American culture. It's like with the tribes and stuff. It's like you'd make an act like back in the day they're fucking demented, so they're like kill a baby or some shit, and then you wait for the rain to fall. But it wouldn't be like
you're looking directly at the god's
and then
side.
they approve, right? You know what I mean? Maybe here it's like the dance. This is Malayalam.
Well, you see, it's interesting.
It is classical. It's not folk.
Well, okay, cool. That's really cool.
What were you saying? Sorry.
Well, in Hinduism, again, I'm really not the most well-informed person in Hinduism ever. But in the little bit that I've read
I think there's
here
plenty
and
of
there,
evidence that neither of us know shit.
I think part of the scriptures is that the gods used to marry.
Okay.
In
Like mortals.
In like their mortal avatars.
That's right. We did
Right?
read that. Yeah, we did read that another time.
So maybe because that felt like a meet cute type of thing. So that felt like a meet first time meeting
I have a question as well.
the god.
India is rather hot, I'd say.
Yes.
Unless
you're from the north in the Himalayas. It's
like near where
actually
Jubin lives, like one of those
quite
villages and
cold.
shit. Jubin Nautiyal, I mean, because I keep saying that and like just presume he's famous as hell. So, but okay, so it's quite hot in there, probably, and you wear all that attire and stuff. Dude, how the hell did the royals not die?
Yeah, that's very.
Or
good
even
question.
just the dancers doing this?
Yeah.
Because the other guys are shirtless because it's bloody hot. And you can see sweat in them. Imagine inside those outfits.
I agree. Okay,
Anyways,
let's just read
this
a
is
little bit about this.
Malayalam, not to be confused with Kathakana. It is a major form, Kathakali. It is a major form of classical Indian dance. It is a story play, okay, genre of art, but one distinguished by the elaborately colourful makeup, costumes and face masks that the traditional male actor dancers wear. It is native to the Malayalam-speaking southwestern region of Kerala and is almost entirely practiced and appreciated by Malayali people or Malayali people. Kathak's roots are unclear. Kathakali's roots are unclear. The fully developed style of Kathakali originated around the 17th century, but its roots are in the temple and folk arts such as Mohiniyattam and religious drama of the kingdom of the Samorin of Calicut, southwestern India peninsula, which are traceable to at least the first millennium CE.
What is CE?
Before Common Era.
Common Era. A year nations for the
Gregorian calendar, right? I see. Most widely known as the calendar era. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm learning a hell of a lot more than just dance.
Never heard that.
No.
Go left.
I just want to. Okay.
That's the attire. Damn. Yeah, you're gonna boil to
This
death.
is one of the 8.
And it will be a fella. It will be a guy in there.
Guys will
Go in
wear.
it. Up. Focus in.
Sorry.
Please. It said, Kathakali performance, like all classical dance arts of India, synthesizes music, vocal performances, choreography, and hand and facial gestures together to express ideas. However, Kathakali differs in that it also incorporates movements from ancient Indian martial arts and athletic traditions of South India. Kathakali also differs in that structure and details of its art form developed in the courts and theatres of Hindu principalities, unlike other classical Indian dances which primarily developed in Hindu temples and monastic schools.
Which
like
is
Kathak
why
is one of them.
Which is why it felt folkloric rather than
Classical form of dance.
a worship-like storytelling aspect of it.
Banging.
Wow, how freaking fun!
Also, we were obviously.
I knew this was gonna be fun.
It is one of my probably right now. It's one of the most fun podcasts because it's like proper discovery and learning. We check out a lot of music. From India, of course, and one of the things that always surprises me about India, different parts of India, like Bollywood does this really well. I think Telugu movies do this really well. Malayalam movies do this really well. I think just overall the Indian movie industries do this exceptionally well, in which they're able to intertwine stories and visual and auditory stimuli to an extent that not many industries do. And that it seems perhaps that this is so well rooted in their sort of classical history and classical music history that
it's just so rich. It's so vast.
That's right. So it seems that as things have modernized and globalized, they haven't lost that sort of aspect, and that's why perhaps right now they're one of the industries that are booming with the numbers that they're booming at right now, because they have that down culturally speaking. There are storytellers to begin with through their music. Mm-hmm. Prior to anything else, they are storytellers. Yeah. Like other cultures, for example, they utilize music more as they are more a tale of a story amongst time, in the sense of they also encapsulate like environmental sounds. You see it more of a depiction or a representation of nature, rather than it being actual stories, scriptures or representation of scriptures. A good example of this is like Japan does this really well. If you look at like old traditional Japanese music, hence why they're really good at sort of soundtracks for movies and soundtracks for like animated stuff like anime and like series and things like this. It's because they traditionally speaking, most of their instruments sound like elements of nature. Mm-hmm. And this is more sort of.
But again, you're using two really interesting, music history speaking, two very interesting notions of culture and music history.
Well, I'm using them.
Japan. Yeah. China.
Yes, another one of them.
And India.
Yeah.
They have one of the oldest. Yeah. Like the beginnings of culture come from those three places.
Well, most definitely, yeah. India, China,
especially when it comes to Asia and like the beginning of empires and stuff. Like they were really ahead of what the Western world was, what was happening in the Western world at the same time, which is why I believe the elements of their culture are so intertwined to modern day living. So it's like it's their essence. It's who they are. Even after all the years that have passed, thousands of years. I mean, you're talking some of these roots on like Japanese and Chinese music culture and like storytelling dates to 3,000 years ago. It's incredible, and at the same time, those things they still prevail in modern music today, which I find that that's quite impressive in the aspect of like how were they able to maintain such purity in their belief system, culturally speaking, that even 3,000 years later is still palpable.
Well, I think it's just preservation of the culture. That's what I mean. I think it becomes part of people, and people is what makes culture. So what the point I was trying to say is in India, I think the reason why they are sort of ahead in storytelling with their music is because it's so intertwined with their culture through thousands of years. For example, another example would be Japan, but I think they're exceptionally well at sort of telling environmental stories rather than scriptures or parables. China would be another one of them. China's quite intriguing because they can kind of do both. You also have like African, like that's a whole continent, but if you look at tribal, old school, percussive, the history of percussion, which basically most of it, for us in South America, it originates all in Africa. You see that they utilized music much more in the sense of they were so connected to the soil, hunting and like what would you call it? It was like a celebration, rather than like music was just as a celebration rather than a method of storytelling. It was much more used as a form of encouraging tribal unity.
Correct.
dance, music, celebration, a hunt, gatherings among in that sense. So
Communal winnings.
that's right. So births were celebrated in that sense, and this kind of influenced the way that percussion in Africa. That's why it feels so sort of celebratory, like so dance inducing in comparison. Yeah, euphoric in comparison to other sort of percussive induced or focused music like salsa or bachata or things like that. They don't have that same effect of like Afro beats, and it's all originated from there.
And even though you still hear the celebratory essence of in both, because they deviate from the same root.
But again, I'm just speaking about the roots, because I think the derivatives, and it turns fucking complicated as shit.
Well, this is why I find it so intriguing to me. Like, this is really thought-provoking. It's kind of making my brain hurt, because these are different regions of the country, and they're vastly different. Like, they all have a focus in completely different aspects of performing itself, like India's storytelling itself, because India's such a huge country, right?
Big.
And each person has their own take of the scriptures, their own take of Hinduism, their own take of the stories.
I wouldn't say each person, because they're sort of collective beliefs, right?
Each region. That's right, what I'm trying to say. But they feel so individualistic. They feel like people, individual people.
Yeah, because I think to a certain extent, these sort of dances that we're seeing, they represent states, don't they? So they represent people from a specific area. So it wouldn't be I think that's pretty accurate. Yeah.
It's just so fascinating, because even though there's a lot of similar, where did it all start?
That's a good question.
Like, where, dance speaking, like, where did it all start?
What are the oldest forms of dance?
Correct.
The styles that we've checked out so far.
And how did we get to where we are?
I guess perhaps the oldest would be those 8.
Definitely, I think that's definitely where I think it would originate.
Maybe they all happened around the same time.
I want to know the region though, like.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, presumably, because it's
the north and the south, right?
It's so far back that even some styles are not even specifically.
And I doubt that you had Hindustani classical or Carnatic, and there wasn't any dance.
No, I think they happened hand in hand.
Exactly. So I guess.
So my question would be more along the lines of like music history. Where did it all begin?
Yeah, it began in Hindustani classical through the travel.
Classical.
And or Southern Carnatic. It's either of those two.
Do you think they happened at the same time?
People traveled.
But you don't think one is like the evolution of the other?
I don't know, because I don't know who traveled from where. Like, what happens
That's what I'm asking.
No, but what happens if this were... Because I'm not very well versed in human history, but what happens if there were people who migrated or moved from North Asia coming down to the south, and then there were people that migrated through Southeast Asia coming up to the south.
Dude, again, so what makes... Again,
and then also it's like the whole like linking between like Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, and then everything turns into...
But weren't they one at one point?
That's what I mean. That's the connection, right? That they were all essentially one land at some point.
Before the partition of the land.
Yeah, but I don't know what that means, because I don't know if the partition is just... That time is just the partition between India and Pakistan, geographically speaking, or is it everything? Because then it wouldn't be called India. Maybe it was called something else back in the day.
Well, based on... This was a really good message.
I'm sure there's a historian watching this, fucking hit himself with the keyboard. These guys are idiots.
This is so stupid.
I'm sorry. It's just... I guess what you're getting to experience is... What we do off of camera. This is why I like the podcast. Because this is what we do off of camera. We go sit down somewhere and we just start...
talking about it,
theorizing.
It's like, what if
wrongly?
Yeah. But the good thing about this part of the podcast is that you actually get to talk to us. And,
exactly.
And correct us in our very
crazy
wrongly, very wrong ideas. Anyways, next one. This is Lavani Dance style.
Oh, this was very requested. People are like, you have to have a watch of this, man.
This is from a dance show as well. Like, this is a televised competition. So
hope he doesn't get it blocked.
I hope you get to see it. Let's have a look.
Turn Italian.
It's large. Dude, that looks like a movie. This is a competition? the cameraman is doing God's work with those angles. Oh, more people! Oh my god, she's incredibly charming.
Oh, that's a bizarre chord.
Incredible movers though. They make the harshest of moves look like it's easy. I like that.
I guess
Would this be more commonly seen in Bollywood?
this
This style?
Lavani.
Because I see a lot of things that I
Kathak seems to
feel
be
more
quite popular.
familiar with.
Kathak seems to be more popular, I feel.
You think so?
Well, it's Bollywood. It's also northern. Bollywood is more like, and it's not really the middle, but it's like probably closer to the north and the south,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
So I would, and then you can see it like in movies. It looks a bit more like Kathak. It probably looks a bit more like this as well, like
It's
Lavani.
just that there's certain like
Movements.
choreography aspect of things that I feel like I've seen more in Bollywood
Right.
compositions than that are not like historic
Pieces.
pieces.
I also feel like this is. I'm gonna guess here.
don't know, I
Is this
feel so confused.
is this a bit more modern?
Oh, that's a
This feels later on along the line.
definitely.
Go on. I feel, or maybe it's just the take because it's a show.
1900s.
No, I think maybe it could also be because it's a show. It needs to be a bit more commercial.
Also, I do think so too.
Yeah, go on. But it just feels a bit more modernistic.
Okay, I don't know. Yes.
It's called a sari, right? Is that what she's wearing?
I don't know if that's a sari. Because it's so intertwined with the style of dancing, it might be called something different.
That's sick. You understand where Shakira got shit from?
Yeah. See, that's what I mean. Would it be more? Maybe it comes from the idea of the commercial aspect.
She's like us, just watching.
That's an actress. That's an actress right there. It goes far beyond the dancing.
Ouch.
How great!
Alright, do the research on this. The
Again,
fuck?
I think this is way more
It's there, right there.
Lavani. I feel like
Marathi.
this is, Marathi.
So it's from Mahastra, which we just checked out the Marathi, our first Marathi song
Correct.
the other
So would
day.
this be then the sound?
Lavani is a combination of traditional song and dance, which particularly performed to the beats of the dolki, a percussion instrument. Highlight the dolki thing. It'll be dolki, right?
Dol.
Oh, dolak. What the fuck? What do
Dolak.
they call it? Dolik.
It's a two-headed hand drum.
Yeah, the dolak. Or dolake, I don't know.
Dolak.
Lavani is noted for its powerful rhythm. Lavani has contributed substantially for the development of Marathi folk theatre.
See, it's very theatrical. That's
So
why
it's probably later on along the line
I
as well.
felt that.
Lavani dance originated from Maharashtra in the 18th and 19th century. Lavani dances,
Saris, you were correct.
they are saris, right? Were patronized by Maratha lords and kings. What do you mean by patronized?
I don't know.
Does it mean like they were patrons of it? Or
Correct.
does that mean that they... Because you know the word patronizing,
Yeah, it has quite
condescending.
Yes, it has quite a,
So maybe
a
they...
negative.
Like they were sort of like...
Like the paying. Maybe perhaps they're paying.
No, what the fuck's the word?
Audience?
They were entertained by them. That's maybe where that word patronized comes from.
Correct.
Right? You sort of... And what an entertainment.
You're my entertainment.
Yeah. Oh, like a tiny little
Entertainment.
child.
Yeah,
You know?
correct.
Yeah, maybe
I think that's where the entitlement comes from then.
Ah.
That would make sense. now.
Lavani dance was generally performed by Dangaris and shepherd living in Solapur, Maharashtra. I don't know what that means. What do you mean shepherd living? The fuck does that mean? Like shepherds?
Yeah, like
is
working
it-
class people, I would suppose.
Oh.
Again, I 17th century, so that does explain
That's older
the
than
theatrical.
that's older than Kathakali. Kathakali. Go on the Kathakali one.
What-
Kathakali was like
That's-
no, it's 1,000. First
That's-
millennium. Yeah, this is
It doesn't.
that's same 17th century, first millennium. Arguably, it originated
It
from
just
millennium.
feels so much more. What is
Modern.
it called? No, it feels so much more theatrical. Like this was done for the purposes of mere entertainment.
Well, this isn't classical dance. This is folk.
Folk,
So this is
correct.
folk theatric dance.
Okay. Listen,
Go
Rather
to that comment
entertaining.
that someone posted. Go down.
Lavani. I'm just trying to find it. Wait.
You can put it up.
It is
Maybe
on-
they didn't put it. There was another comment. Yeah, you see. So here they're saying it's like Indian classical, like Kathak, Kuchipudi, Odissi, Kathakali, and then Indian folk dance like Garba, Lavani, Gida, Banga,
Should I just
Bihu. So that was definitely folk.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay, so the first
Nice,
time
okay,
we
we're
checked out folk
Encountering
dance.
Folk dance.
Okay, let's have a look at the next one.
Next. Oh, this is a cool.
This is Kuchipudi. So this is now Odissi. So this is classical.
Okay, let's have a look.
From where I have no idea.
Dance off. What the hell?
That sounds like hip hop.
I
Why is it hip hop?
well, it's a dance off. It's like a fusion of styles. Maybe that's not even. Oh wow! Love me a good silhouette work. I love me a good silhouette work. People, do this more often, theater. Have fun.
Are they mic'd up? They are.
Yes, they are. There's environmental floor mics.
It's Sargam, right?
Yeah.
Hello, mate.
She's got the longest limbs. What beautiful arms.
Yeah, dude, she's oddly long.
It's perfect for the style of dance.
Hold on, is it us or what the fuck is going on?
No,
Are you
there
guys
is-
hearing that? There's
There
like
is
a trap beat. It's not even
ding,
hip hop.
ding, ding. What song is that? What song is that?
I don't know.
Ding, ding, ding. I feel like
I'm
I
with my
should know.
bitch. I better
Ah.
call my. I think that's what it is. I don't know. I forgot what song that
I
is.
feel like I should know that song.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, interesting fusion.
I also don't know what that sounds like, dude. It's not. It sounds like a tabla on steroids mixed with a dolaka as well. It's insane because it also sounds quite empty, like they're hitting it with a stick. And I've seen some of those things be hit with these thin sticks. It's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I don't know how they play that shit. It's like. But anyways, go on.
I have to be honest. This is actually quite interesting because even if you look at the attires that they're wearing, they're vastly different, and they're not quite coherent with each other. And they're also dancing like different sections of the thala itself. It's like they're
Thala means the beat,
rhythm. Yes. But one is dancing to the thala whilst the other one is not. So it's like there's sections of the choreography where they're completely disjointed to one another, but at the same time they kind of work, and it's really interesting. And this is,
I think the
racking my brain.
that thing is called Sargam. I think
so.
Yeah. Seeing that shit live is mental. I saw it live once.
What is with the hip hop? That's really interesting.
You want to make it more modern? It's like yin and yang kind of thing.
Yeah, but you see, it's like they represent different parts of the song, the composition of music instruments. And only when the vocals and the instruments are working together, they get to work together.
Yeah, that girl has the longest arms I have ever seen in my life. Oh, sorry, I thought it said Sattriya.
The question is, why?
Why the hip hop thing?
Yeah.
Tabla, it's a cola rindam. That's that thing.
Mira.
Yeah, I never know what the fuck. I can never recognize that.
Dangam. Question is, why?
The musical arrangement, I mean, I don't know what the fuck was going on, because I made it be on a mistake, or maybe it was actually on purpose. But why did it have that hip hop thing?
No, it was working. It was working for
Go
them.
down?
I don't know.
Okay, so up. Ballet. We're idiots. Look at that. So, Mandara, she was performing Kuchipudi, and Ananya was doing Odissi. So they were both doing two different styles of classical.
No, one is doing folk and the other doing classical. If I remember correctly, one is classical and the other one it's a folk.
No, they're both classical. Yeah, Kuchipudi and Odissi are classical. Your memory is garbage.
Listen,
you know what's funny though?
brains don't
You know what's
work.
funny? Waleska has the capability of learning lines, because I saw her do this for theatre. She has the ability, or like songs, she has the ability to like learn songs like in an hour and then perform them perfectly at night time. Like you give her in the day, in the morning, she like, because she procrastinates or something, I don't know.
I don't.
Well, then why would you do that? Just to test your ability? Or
No,
maybe
because
they'll
they give them to you the day.
Damn, gang.
I would rather not, you know? Like, let's be talking about it honestly. I would rather not
Because
do
you're
that.
a really good student, especially when you're like in uni, you're a good student. But also like when you weren't a student and you're just working and you have to learn scripts and shit. It's like I would be like, she would just lock herself in her room. She wouldn't come out for like a few hours, and then she'll come out maybe jacked up in coffee or something.
It's like talking to herself.
Yeah, and then I would go watch her in the show and stuff, and it's like,
She literally just learned that.
that's the thing she was practicing. But I had never heard her practice that before. So yeah, that's quite mad. So your memory is not that shit.
No, I just, I'm just having a hard time today.
I also have to say,
my brain is a bit fried. It's
I also have
a
to
bit
say
like,
this.
whoa.
I think people can notice. We're quite tired. We've been really busy lately, and we haven't had a break in a really long time. Also, things are coming up. You know, we're preparing for dates. It's really good. All these blessings you guys are giving us, and we're working really hard and taking, sort of making the most of it as we can.
Man, taking advantage of the opportunities that you're giving us. So it's so grateful, and I feel so honored to be able to take in these opportunities that are coming about because of you. So,
yeah, exactly. So, but the only like downside of that is that it seems like we're not really sleeping that well, and like we're not really resting that much. So,
that's okay.
We're trying to find like a balance and stuff. We're only learning. You know, we're gonna turn 3 this year. So
there's
on
a time
YouTube,
and a place for everything.
yeah. So we're learning as we go. It's part of the journey. You know, we're hopefully doing this for a really long time, and I think with your help we can kind of finally win that battle with like a lot of these labels and stuff like that, and we can settle this properly and put high quality reviews out that everyone will enjoy and spread culture, music, all over the world. Because I really think it has no boundaries. Like we were just talking about that this morning, because I quite like that word. Quite like that. What is it? Like a slogan or something?
Yeah.
It's like music knows, what is it? No limits.
Limits. Yeah.
Yeah,
It really does.
which is it's amazing because obviously at the moment we're really focused on some of our favorite industries. You know, like the Filipino music
Well, I
industry, the
think
Korean music industry, Japanese, Indonesia,
There is
Indian.
so much to dive into, especially given the fact that they're so new and so vastly different to what we've always been exposed to. So that factor it generates a lot of curiosity. At least for me, I know for sure that it ignites a lot of like personal research. Like it keeps me up at night trying to figure out things that I had never been exposed to before. So
Well, dude, we also post like, you know, we used to post like 5 times a day, right?
yeah.
Now we post 3, and it's still like there's channels out there that fucking post like once a month, and even with that, the reason why we do this because we're so highly interested in actually developing a vast knowledge with the ones that have captured our hearts, and also the ones that we can have the capability of checking out so often. But the plan is obviously to try and do the same with all different types of industries. That's why on Friday, like the podcast, we have that kind of capability, regardless of how popular things may be, or how blocked shit gets. It's still kind of like a fight. I think it's worth fighting because then people kind of go to that podcast and they're like, oh, I discovered this new artist, or I discovered this new song, or I discovered something new about my own country, and that's even fucking that's insane.
Incredible.
But the most important bit is like, wow, I've learned something new. I'm from, I don't know, Canada. I had no idea anything about India, and it's like now I know this, and I quite like that dance. I'm gonna take classes. You're like, what the fuck?
I know, it's crazy, and you'd be surprised at the amount of messages like personalized that come through, and you're like, wow, I didn't even know anyone could like make that type of influence, and it's all you, basically.
In that sense, we're also somehow becoming experts slowly in things, so that increasing our knowledge to one day hopefully be experts in all of this. But you're basically seeing our journey into learning, and then our composition
you're part
journey.
Of it, but you're part of it.
And now we're returning into live performing, which is great, at sort of at a higher level. Because we haven't stopped. It's just been bars and sort of pubs and parties and things like that. But now it's slowly climbing up in things, and it's like it's so cool because I think all of you, hopefully things go well. Fucking hell, we keep climbing up the ladder. You guys basically are seeing the whole thing.
Yeah,
which is sick.
Okay, so now we get this is a set of twins. They're really known for twins. They're known for doing a lot of their classical dance, and I think this is Mohiniyattam.
Yatam. This is
Mohiniyattam.
Adira and Aishvara Das. Okay, go on.
Okay, I do
Onam
apologize.
is here.
It's a celebratory dance. That's what he said in the description.
This is folk.
I don't know.
Definitely a fusion. Given that type of beat, right? That beat is fat. Facial expression is such a big deal in this type of dance.
It's the eye lines. They're very interestingly choreographed too. These are years of mastery, right? So how do you teach a kid to be that animated in their facial expressions?
It's quite fun, right?
Yeah, but it's quite tough.
Yeah,
to explain, okay, now you're gonna look at a 90-degree level. Like, your eye line has to be in line with your shoulder line. Like, those
maybe he does it or you don't feed him.
Yeah. Okay. Nice effort. Well,
isn't that how you train
that
stuff?
really did derail all my arguments. Thank you.
We didn't check out the Kalipuchi story.
I didn't have it.
Oh.
I don't have.
We'll check it
Well,
out.
we can check. I mean, yes, sure.
Oh, change scenery. It looks like Regent's Park. Whoa. Again, I guess this is towards the north.
From this foundation of dance, moving into anything modern like related would be so easy.
I see.
For them, because a lot of the foundations
also, they are a copy of each other. Look at the way they move and they look.
But apart from being genetical twins, I mean, apart from that part, I think if you added more dancers, given the fact that it's so animated in the facial expressions as well as the choreography, I feel they would look very similar all the same.
Right, yeah. Well,
because
if they're at this level,
it's all part of that. It's part of the art form. But like I was saying, a lot of and I'm only just realizing that now, but a lot of the core aspects of modern dance itself lies within a lot of these principles. So a lot of limbering exercises on a pliés, a lot of loose limbs on a close hip setting, so you're not completely turned out, but you're not always parallel. So it's similar to what like the positions like they use. Like if you pay attention here, this is a turnout foot, but and this is also that. But just minutes before, they had like inverted turnouts. So like it's quite interesting because the modern dance form derivates from those principles a lot.
Well, I guess
so I maybe I don't know.
I guess my word of advice is, if you're watching this and you're from India and you like dance, actually, if you're from India and you like music and dance, take the fucking advantage out of the fact that you are from India. Look, a little butterfly or something.
That's a moth.
Oh, from India, and learn the classical dances. And learn classic and either Carnatic or Hindustani classical. You will thank me for the rest of. You will thank yourself for the rest of your life, because once
a hack.
Any endeavor you decide to do after that, music wise, it will truly be an absolute piece of cake.
In art form, in
Genuinely.
whatever
And
art form.
say you, but Efra, I don't want to be a classical singer. Maybe there's not much money in there, or maybe that's not who I want to be. But it's like, no, you're doing it as an investment. Do it for at least a couple of years, 3 years. We are actually once we kind of become a bit more settled in all this stuff. The proof will be in the pudding. I promise on this. We will actually. I would like to be involved in this kind of scene for a little while, like in the tabla scene and then the whole like percussion wise, to the extent that I probably can with the few years that I'll have a hand, but not like a whole lifetime. But I think it will genuinely open up that horizon of, you'll start to see music at an. It's like, what was that movie where you can see the monsters and stuff, but only when you have the glasses on. And then you could also see the beautiful creatures and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's like this powerful lens that the kid was wearing.
Spiderwick.
Something like that. It's like that, I feel, with Indian classical dance and singing and the music. If you have those lenses on, and you have that upgrade, you truly see paths that are not even existent for other people that haven't been trained in this setting. So if you are from India and you have that capability, or you've had those opportunities, take them.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Literally, bro.
It's such a rich culture. It'd be silly to excuse yourself from it.
Yeah, because you'll be in there. I'm saying if you're from India, because you'll literally be there. But if you're not from India and you're somewhat interested in this, but you're also a good musician, this will literally take you to like the fucking next level. And I will, again, I'm saying it, like, the proof will be in the pudding. Just watch out. Just give me a couple of years. Relax. Yeah.
I wonder what the counts are. Do they even work in counts? Maybe they don't.
പാടും നിൻ തീരത്ത് പൂപ്പൊലിപ്പാട്ടീണം മൈലാഞ്ചി പാട്ടിനഴകൊടു കൂട്ടുകൂടും നേരം നല്ലോണം നമ്മൾ കോണം.
I hate those things. They don't let me see. I think that was probably also a fusion. I hate those things, man. YouTube should do some shit about that. Because I can't see shit. To all readers in the UK, please don't scroll past this. This Thursday. Holy fuck, what happened? Vale's just scrolling past it.
Sorry.
Oh my gosh. I think Wikipedia's maybe they're asking for like donations and shit.
Malayalam.
So another Malayalam. Indian classical dance. So this is another Indian classical dance. No,
From the
this.
state of Kerala.
Wait, what? Didn't we check that out?
No.
Go left.
They're Kathak. From the...
What the hell is this? So what was the previous one that was like a really hard name? Oh, the Bra one. It was this one. Okay. Okay, so an Indian classical dance developed and remained popular in the state of Kerala. Kathakali is another classical dance form of Kerala. Okay, so we checked out a couple from there.
It's a historical enchantress avatar of the Hindu god Vishnu.
Vishnu, who helps the good prevail over evil. That's right. By developing her feminine powers. That's right, bro. Beautiful. Women are beautiful. You gotta take good care of them. They're fantastic. You gotta hold them. Like that. Look at that. What a beautiful picture. Hold on. Can we go to the Odissi one? Go left. It's literally right there.
Yeah, sure.
It says Odissi. Orissa. Also referred to as Orissa in old literature. It's a major ancient classical dance that originated in the Hindu temples of Odisha, an eastern coastal state of India. Odissi is in history was performed predominantly by women and expressed religious stories and spiritual ideas, particularly by Vaishnavism. Odissi performances have also expressed ideas by other traditions such as those related to Hindu gods Shiva and Surya, as well as Hindu goddesses Shakism. Theoretical foundations of Odissi trace to the ancient Sanskrit text Natya Shastra, which was so similar to the other one. In its existence, Hindu temples, archaeological sites related to Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism. It was suppressed. Jain Dharma is an ancient Indian religion. Jainism traces its spiritual ideas and histories through the succession of 24 Tirthankaras, with the first in the current time cycle being Rishabhadeva, whom the tradition holds to have lived millions of years ago. Holy shit.
What?
And it also says, look, it was suppressed by the British rule. The suppression was protested by Indians, followed by its revival, reconstruction, and expansion since India gained independence from the colonial rule.
Wow, would you look at that?
I guess also art has always been used in that sense, right? Like, for sort of, it's also been used to like, this is ours. So we'll also use it as a form of protest,
I think it mostly comes from the idea that it's a dance and music. It's a representation of historical events as well. So it is all part of like the human experience. So whatever politically might have happened in at the time, it will be represented in one way of an art form itself in culture.
Right.
So yeah.
So I think India got hit hard by colonialism.
Yes, it really did. It took them a while as well. Yeah, it's quite sad.
I don't know enough. Again, like I'd love to know.
I know very little.
I know it's kind of like a sensitive topic. Like I see people like really get angry about it, and I presume maybe they have good reason. I don't know. I don't know enough. Anyway, so this is Sattriya Dance of Assam. It's only like a minute long.
Okay.
Oh, Govinda Gunanidhi Govardhanadhari Daitya Danava Mardhanakari. Govinda Gunanidhi Govardhanadhari Daitya Danava Mardhanakari. Govinda Gunanidhi Govardhanadhari Daitya Danava Mardhanakari.
It's like a battle.
Milongo dimi dimi nade dundubi, milongo dimi dimi nade dundubi. Chitto hobe bai te, ronge rongi ma, kita kita de, de. तस्मै श्री परमात्मने तस्मै श्री परमात्मने
Such articulated hands. That's beautiful.
गुरु नमः
Could be a bansuri, the flute.
कृष्णाय गुरु
Krishna, he said.
नमः कृष्णाय गुरु
I like this one a lot.
That's really interesting.
I like that one a lot.
Because if you break it down, like the beginning, it's like a warning, like a battle.
That one looked like martial arts at certain points.
You see? Like a warning, like this is...
Yeah,
And
that.
then it changes, like the facial expression changes so smooth. It kind of like, it's like, am I actually seeing this right? This is so great. The hands are so great. And then a completely change of mood.
I love this
It
bit.
becomes so spiritual, so fluid. Each finger tells a story.
Krishnaya Guru Namaha Krishnaya Guru Namaha.
I love that bit. It's so sick. Maybe that's why they do paint their fingers. That kind of makes a lot more sense. Because, you know, a lot of the time when you see, like, when we look at some of these scenes from movies and stuff, I always have a bunch of questions. It's like, you know, why do they paint their fingers like that, or why is the makeup in a specific manner? And now it makes a lot more sense, because it's given the, you know, the origin of dance, of some of these dances, like classical dances, especially Indian classical dances. There's so many focuses on micro expressions and micro movements through fingers. So like more fine movements, refined, not big motor movements, like, you know, where they use big muscle groups like the arms and the legs. This is more sort of refined. Yeah, you call them in sport, you call these, fine motor skills. So skills that require smaller muscle groups, movements that require smaller muscle groups, like the fingers, I guess the face.
So heavily articulated in the hands, though,
Sorry.
as well as in the facial expressions. Like, I felt like I understood the telling of the story to whatever capability my dummy brain can,
Without knowing the language of the song.
Correct, and I think I think that's the main purpose, obviously. But the articulation of the hands is so. I find it so incredibly fascinating, because to me the hands are something very hard to master. To that like softness. Like, hands are so. They can be so harsh because we use them for so many things in our daily life.
They can
It's
always be so soft and used to create pleasure.
But the embodiment of them in this specific way of dancing, it's like a main character. Their part. This is really fascinating to me. Anyway, so this is another Indian classical dance.
Yeah. I think we might be close to checking out All 8. I feel like I'm collecting Infinity Stones. Sattriya It is a dance drama performance art with origins in the Krishna. It's not Krishna. He pronounced it Krishna. Centered Vaishnavism. Because I don't think there's sh. That's an English thing, like sh.
Hindu denominations, along with Shaivism,
Shaktism. And Smartism. It's only for smart people. Sorry, I shouldn't make jokes.
2010, estimated by Johnson and Grimm, is the largest Hindu sect.
641 million, holy fuck.
And is also called
Vishnuism. Vishnuism. Yeah, because the H, maybe it's like kind of like silent.
I don't know.
Because he said Krishna, he didn't say Krishna.
Yeah, but some others say Krishna, so I don't know. You see
Krishna, like that. Krishna. I don't think they say Krishna.
Sorry.
I think that's some stupid British thing we came up over here.
Yeah, it's like that's some.
It's the same as like
some whitewash
Trinidad
way of
and
saying
Tobago.
Yeah, some white.
It's like, what the fuck did you Puerto Rico?
It's like some white way to say this.
Colombia.
Yeah.
What the fuck's Colombia, dog?
I don't know what Colombia.
Colombia, huevón. The themes played are related to Lord Krishna. Sometimes other Vishnu avatars such as Rama and Sita, and stories from the epics are also referred to. The philosophic religion of Maharapurus, Simanta, oh fuck me, please make it easy, was based on Vedanta.
Srimanta Sankardev.
Okay, I'm a bit lost in this bit, but you kind of got what I'm trying to say.
From what region? From what region?
It's not. It's just all over the place because it's 15th century Bhakti movement. Click on that.
Where?
At the top second line of the first paragraph.
Bhakti movement.
Was significant religious movement in medieval Hinduism and sought to bring religious reforms to all strata and society by adopting the method of devotion to achieve salvation. Originating in Tamil Lakam, it gained prominence through the poems and teachings of the Vaishnava Alvars and I presume other scholars. So I think because Hinduism is such a, not popular, that's the wrong word, but such a followed religion in the whole of India, it probably is more like a religious dance rather than a state dance.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay,
that.
we have one more. This is Manipuri. And then we have a fun one to end with, which is fucking Despacito, but it's Bhangra. Anyways, Bhangra, right?
Yeah,
it's like
Bhangra.
Punjab.
It is Bhangra. Okay, so happy Diwali. Diwali. Again, when is it that it happens? Does it happen in March?
I love that song.
I feel like Diwali happens in March for some reason.
Diwali? Oh, Diwali is like November. It's like it's the fireworks shit.
It is.
The one you're talking about is what's that? The one with the colors. That one's called.
That is called.
I was gonna
say
Holi. Yeah. Holi is like Easter time. Around Easter time.
Okay. To find love.
Diwali is like November time. Or maybe December time. It's like around that time, October. That's right. It's October, right? Isn't it like near like Halloween?
Correct.
Halloween.
Correct.
Halloween.
It feels like a fall festival, you know?
Yeah.
Even though it's not predominantly. It's just because we live in London. And
a lot of people do it like in Halloween because obviously not many people do. Well, a lot of people do Halloween, but I think if you do Diwali, it probably takes priority.
Yeah. Okay.
Even though if you're a kid,
you can do.
You're both. Like both, bro.
Do it all.
Yeah, go on. I've never seen anyone here do this though.
Oh no, me neither. How great are those skirts?
They literally look like living decoration.
Floating. Yeah, they look like they're floating. How fun! I wonder why the veils. Oh, hello.
understand the tala, I'm fucking gone, mate.
That's a fireworks.
The less you know, the more you learn.
Insert firework here. Listen, let's find out.
That
This
one's
is
quite
Manipuri.
intriguing, but very, very, very cool attire, I have to say, because it literally seems like they are like living decorations, which is maybe what they sort of they're depicting.
It's part of the series on culture of India.
So this is more folk. I know it's one of the 8 Indian classical dance forms. We must have collected all the Infinity Stones at this point.
Ephra, you wouldn't say that. Don't say that.
Why not? It's fun.
Yeah. Okay.
Plus, it's great. When I know all the Indian classical dance forms, I will literally ascend. Like I'm in level 1 right now. I'd go like level 2.
Okay.
I'm like Dragon Ball Z. Go like Ephra Super Saiyan 1 or some shit like that.
Well,
I didn't even watch Dragon Ball Z when I was a kid.
You did.
Not that much.
You did.
I watched One Punch Man when I was a kid.
You went One Punch Man.
Yeah, that's that bald guy that when you would walk in my room and I would go ha like that because he would beat the fuck out of everyone with one punch.
I remember that.
Yeah, and he would do.
Do you want me to be honest? Anime, growing up was
A big deal for
the
us.
thing.
Yeah, I
That
don't watch it
was-
anymore because as you sort of grow up.
No, but you see, there's some. I just realized as I grew older,
No, no.
there were better ones,
No.
and I was like, the ones I grew up with as a child, they were kind of subpar.
No, I think the ones you watch as a kid, you kind of stop watching, but then you go and like you get to the better animes as you grow older. I think
Correct.
the better
it's
animes.
like you grow up with the better, like with better anime.
Yeah, like because you can actually understand them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, great point.
Yeah,
Well,
but I think when you're
Sakura-
older,
Kar-
anime is even better.
Oh yes.
Like I didn't mean it like that. Like it's a cartoons or some shit. I just mean it like you stop watching those when you're a kid.
And they stop being fun and lighthearted, and they start creating emotional scars.
Yeah, and you start watching real shit. Like some of that one that I was trying to read the manga from that hurt my brain because you read them to right to left. Well, that's how you read normally. How do you read? We read left
from
to right.
left to right.
So in here you read right to left.
Which would make more sense, right? Think about it. I always thought about
Well,
that
in
when I
dance it does because you always start with your right in everything.
Well, the thing is, when I was a child, when I was in like second grade, first grade, let's say first grade, because that's when you properly start reading and writing. I always used to confess the hell out of me. It's like, what?
Why is everything right to left?
And why am I writing from the other? Like, this makes no sense to me. In my brain, that wouldn't make sense. Even though the teacher would sit next to me and tell me, this is how you start, this is where you end, I'd be like, nah, Arabic.
Isn't that funny? Like,
yeah, I was like, it just didn't make sense to me. It's like, why?
there's probably out there some Arabic kid
That's right.
that's like, this is so stupid, man. Way you go left to right, and it's like,
in Arabic.
no, I know, but he wants to go left to right. That would
okay,
make
I
sense
see.
to him, you know. Maybe he saw it in a movie or something, or a Western movie, and then his mom was like, "What the fuck, kid? You know, yeah, hell,
Chancla.
he's
Listen.
go right to left, you stupid motherfucker, you know."
Okay, so Manipuri Ras Leela.
Um,
That's a really cool freaking whole sentence.
it's one of the 8 major Indian classical dance forms, originating from the state of Manipur.
Manipur, where is that?
It's a state northeast.
Northeast.
Ah,
Northeast India.
with the city of Impal. You see, that I think the H is silent in Indian.
I don't know.
Sorry, that's so stupid. Indian, I mean in Hindi.
But it wouldn't even be Hindi. It might not even be Hindi. You see what I mean?
Yeah, but it's north.
But they might not speak Hindi. Because a lot of different states have their own language. No?
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying.
How many languages do we know? I know Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam,
Canada.
Kannada, Marathi. Fuck me, there's so many. Hindi. What would be another one? Did I say Malayalam?
Yes.
Did I say Marathi? I think I know 7.
We don't know them. We just.
No,
I
I
can't
know
even
of them.
differentiate them.
Did I say Tamil?
Yes, you did. I can't even differentiate them though. Like, I find. Like, okay, between Hindi and, like, say, Telugu, I would. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't know the difference if I heard them.
Because Bhangra is not a language. That's a style of
No,
music.
that's Punjab from the
Punjab.
Punjab state.
Yeah, but in Punjab they just speak Hindi.
No, they don't.
What do they speak?
I think they speak something different.
Bhangra, right?
No, Bhangra
It's
is
a
a style of dance.
music. Yeah, dance, yeah.
I don't know.
What the fuck do they speak in Punjab? The state of Punjab.
I
should know that because it's quite a recognizable
We'll
state in my
figure
head.
it out. We'll
Okay.
figure it out. But yeah, this might not even be Hindi. Like, think about it that way.
Yeah, most probably isn't. Manipur people in the comments. No, actually it is.
No, actually, you are
The
correct.
dance is from a... I don't even know if this podcast is in
Makes
any
sense
way
to anyone
enjoyable
else.
to anyone, but I'm having a fucking blast. And I'm sorry if it's unbearable. We're just learning as we go, and I hope the discovery is somewhat charming, I guess. I don't know. Entertaining. The dance
I do
form
apologize.
is embroidered with the devotional themes of Madhura Ras.
Madura Ras?
Madhura Ras. And Radha
Radha?
Krishna.
Radha Krishna.
No, you see there you would say Radha. Radha.
But you see, I don't know.
Yeah, but I do.
Uh-huh.
Really joking. And characterized by gentle eyes and soft, peaceful body movements. The facial expressions are peaceful, mostly expressing Bakiti, Rasa. Ah, yeah, right. This is what that comment was saying.
Emotion of devotion.
The emotion of devotion.
Correct.
No matter if a dancer is Hindu or not. Oh wow! So anyone is so welcome to so do it.
The dance form is based on Hindu
Shastra
Shastra.
and Vaishnavism, which we so checked out, and it's exclusively attached to the worship of Radha Krishna. That's why it's probably welcome to everyone, because if you sort of worship,
If you're
so if it doesn't know any sort of, what would you call it, nationality, I guess.
It's a portrayal of the dance of divine Lord
Krishna
and
and Radha and the cowherd damsels of Vrindavan, famously known as Ras Leela. Sanjay Leela. I know a Leela, Sanjay Leela. Great composer.
Ras Leela or Ras Dance is part of the traditional story of Krishna described in Hindu scriptures such as and literature such as Gita Govinda.
Where he dances with Radha and his popular theme for other Indian classical dance. So he looks a bit more like that back in the day.
Oh, wow. But look, there's like postal cars with it as well. Look at those freaking amazing. So so this is just like your usual getup. Like this is what you would get. Like well we just saw. What? So one would be Krishna, and then the rest would be the other goddesses.
No, like the damsels dancing for Krishna, right? Because I think Krishna didn't really have like a gender.
Correct.
It was more like just like a god.
It was.
Which would be hilarious. That why would God have like? What would we anthropomorphize flash size?
What?
I'm
What are
an
you trying
idiot.
to say? Yeah.
Anthropomorphic.
But isn't like I don't.
When you humanize something.
Okay. I thought you were trying to say that he was a bit androgynous.
no.
Because I think that's how it's depicted.
It doesn't look one or the other.
Correct.
Yeah.
Androgynous.
It's quite confusing.
I don't think it's confusing. I think it plays along to that idea. Of,
Well, that's what I mean. Why would we give? Why would it be a
deity.
gender? Like, why would it?
Yeah, it's a deity. It's
Really
not
makes
even
sense.
freaking human. Like to begin with, like
It's like it's
Even
arguably
though-
not from this universe.
even though it did have human avatars and different reincarnations.
So then he would choose. Maybe it chooses like I'd like to be a king, or I'd like to be a queen, or I'd like to be a person. You know what I mean? I don't know.
And okay, now I'm gonna say something really stupid, and I apologize before I say this.
Yes. yes.
Buddhism and Hinduism are not even correlated.
I don't know.
Oh my god!
Good question.
I have to find out.
Look, man, I might try to be ignorant with questions and then find out the answers.
Buddhism.
That's why there can't be an issue in the world with asking questions.
Buddhism and
I do apologize. It's quite probably annoying.
Hinduism the same. You see, I do question, like, so I'm not the only.
Buddhism
stupid
and
person.
Hinduism agree on karma,
Dharma.
dharma, moksha, and reincarnation. They are differing in that Buddhism rejects the priests of Hinduism, the formal rituals, and the caste system. Buddha urged people to seek enlightenment through meditation.
Why, this downloaded something.
Hey, yo, bro, you can't be downloading shit.
I didn't know it was going to download some.
Oh my god, what the fuck?
Stop it.
It's just...
It's a PowerPoint.
Vale, this is fucking dangerous. Have you... Oh my
not
god,
learned
what the
anything?
fuck?
Well, I just clicked on the link.
Yeah, that's how they get you, dog.
Ay, coño.
And then all your information is gone.
Okay, delete. I'm
Damn,
sorry.
dog.
What did
I know it's not your fault.
What?
That's some fucked up shit right there, guys. You just saw that. Be careful, internet security.
Oh, okay.
Please, man.
It raised a little paranoid.
I'm
about
scared
that.
as fuck because it's so easy nowadays. Like, people are wilding, bro.
It's Google. Don't they have like ads? Like.
Bro, there's ads on Google that are like viruses
Okay. Well.
themselves. It's ridiculous.
All right. So we were saying that
Have common origins in the culture of ancient India.
India.
Buddhism arose in the eastern Ganges culture of northern India during the second urbanization around 500 before Christ erupted. Is that what it is?
Erupted. Come on, brother.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Hinduism developed out of ancient Vedic religion, adopting numerous practices and ideas from other Indian traditions over time.
And that has been called
The Hindu synthesis. Both religions have many shared beliefs and practices, but also pronounced differences that have led to much debate. Both religions share belief in karma, rebirth, reincarnation. They both accept the idea of spiritual liberation. This is nirvana, moksha. From the cycle of reincarnation, they both include in Sarasvati, Vishnu, Makhala, Indara, Brahma. So these are like gods, I guess. However, Buddhism notably rejects fundamental Hindu doctrines such as Atman, substantial self or soul, Brahman, a universal eternal source of everything, and the existence of a creator, Ishvara. Instead, Buddhism teaches not self and Atman and depending arising as fundamental metaphysical theories. Buddhism also rejects the scriptural authority of the Vedas and other Hindu texts, and rejects Vedic teachings regarding ritual, caste, and sacrifice or caste.
Right.
So that's a fair question. Well played, mate.
Thanks.
See, you gotta ask questions, man.
Wow. Okay.
So they are,
Similar in its roots, but deviates in the.
but they're both from India.
Yes, correct.
Originated from the same place.
which
Just
is
they
why I was
deviate in
so-
certain beliefs.
Which is why I was so confused.
But they perhaps share more in common than they have in
Well, so, a lot of their foundations are the same based
but there
on
are some
Wikipedia.
pronounced differences.
Correct.
Okay. Good shit, dude. Again, yeah, I'd much rather be that ignorant kid that always asks questions and then,
Okay,
the
the
internet
next.
spits on me for that, but at least I learned.
All right, so the next one, it's going to be low in volume because
Yeah, this motherfucker.
UMG is gonna be like, eh.
Daddy Yankee's a don, but you play 2 seconds of Despacito and he claims the whole fucking thing.
And no, it's not that he claims that. I don't care. Get your bag. But it's
It's
about
the
it's about
blockage.
the blockage.
Yeah.
And I've been having a wonderful time checking everything out, and I want you to see this. So this is Bhangra, a fusion
Wait,
with
what?
freaking Latin music. Despacito.
Oh, I know what to do. Yeah, go on. Don't worry.
Special thanks to Def. Oh, it's a remix. Oh my god, that is so freaking cool. Bam, bam.
The
It's
way
Bhangra,
it's
it's
the way
Bhangra.
of Bhangra is called.
It's Bhangra mostly danced by men.
Ah, good question.
Because I think it might be.
Well, I don't think we've ever seen a woman dance it.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and that's what's cool. Like some dances forms are like mainly female, right? And then some
Correct.
other ones it seems are like
Well,
mainly
I
guys.
think most of the Indian classical styles that we have seen are performed predominantly by women.
the majority of them. There was that one that they
I
were.
did say
Yeah, the majority of them, predominantly. Yeah,
Predominantly.
That's maybe correct. At least, maybe the last. Maybe we checked out 6 Indian classical forms. It turns out the last 2 are all men. Who knows? But at least today, the majority have been all women.
But even in the last one,
Which I don't have a problem with. They look fucking great.
yeah, but
Especially
maybe
that Kathaki
Bhangra,
dance, dude. Oh my god, they're so attractive. Those women.
maybe Bhangra is it's
Mainly men?
It's mainly performed by
Lads,
men.
yeah.
Bam bam.
Bam, bam.
To be completely honest,
This reminds me of the lad from Norway.
Yeah, I would absolutely adore
Pasito, pasito.
suave, suave, to go to a Punjab party.
You
know?
can't look at this and not be in a good mood. What the fuck?
And also, can we have a moment for this man's thighs?
That guy hits the gym.
No, I think if you dance this, you definitely develop this type of thighs.
No,
Because I don't think these trousers do them justice. But if you dance this type of stuff, you're like on a wide stance the whole time. So you're gonna develop some chunky legs.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. Great. Cool.
Yeah.
Suave, suave. See, because it's so bouncy. It's so...
Yeah, in South America, we don't really have a dance like that.
No, not at all. Not
Nothing
even
close. Well, what the fuck?
Yes, sir.
I love, by the way, pause. So some of my favorite music that we have discovered from India, I think it's no fucking, what would you call it? It's no secret. It's Punjabi music. Yeah. We've done a special, right?
We have.
Yeah, like it's one of my favorite podcasts probably.
It's so good.
It's some of my favorite. Like I love Dilijit Singh.
There's a ton of Punjabi artists that are just
Sidhu, you know, rest in peace. But it's like there's a bunch of music.
Oh yeah.
Punjabi music that's just fucking great, and it's no wonder why.
It's so globalized.
That's if out of, you know, there's so many styles that have become global, but that's probably one that, like, if you go ting-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ting, people know it's like, oh, that's like India. They might not know that's like Punjabi, but like they...
Well, it's funny because the first thing I ever heard, like, music that I initially related to India was Punjabi music, and I didn't even know.
Yeah, we had no idea.
That it was from the state of Punjab.
That's the thing that gets played the most here in London, out of all of India.
Also, their story, like the little bit that I've learned, thanks to you.
Thanks to B. Prag's song.
Yeah. I've learned that their story is incredible. Like, my God,
Warrior,
like,
bruv.
what?
Yeah.
It's one of those, like, it's, you know, the underdog winning the freaking life. That's awesome. Anyways, I just thought that was pretty cool. So,
Also, the religion...
Sikh.
It seems to be more predominantly Sikh. Right?
Correct. Okay, another question. Where does that come from?
Yeah, true, go on.
Never mind. It's because they're just so correlated. Like, culturally speaking, music, religion, and dance seem to be one in India for a lot of the states, which causes a lot of curiosity from my mind.
Yeah. It's fair though.
Because it doesn't happen in South America. Like in Venezuela, you don't get that. Like religion, we are predominantly Catholic, but we don't dance the biblical tellings. Like we don't.
Maybe you reenact them in some like theater thing.
No, but it's acted. It's acted through. You don't dance it through song, and there aren't specific songs told in history, written in back in the day with the colonial times that have maintained themselves. It's not like that.
Yeah, very
like
rare.
We do have religious songs that we dance in specific ways, but it's not.
But it's also because, you know, I think like places like Venezuela and like Colombia and stuff like that, they were so hit hard by colonialism that a lot of the stuff that were there, they just sort of lost the time. And then, you know, Catholicism is like, how the fuck did we end up Catholics? That's like a good question.
It's
like obviously it's the Spanish Empire, so it's like a lot of the things that perhaps we did do centuries ago, it's like they're done now. But what's even more intriguing is like
they extend
it is quite a small country, relatively speaking. I mean, I think it's like the population is like maybe less than 40 million. In Venezuela, it's like 30 something million.
Oh yeah, but it's common in the rest of South America too.
No, of course. But I just mean like in one country, or let's use Colombia for example, or just not because we're Venezuela, but let's use Colombia for example. It's like if you go to the north of Colombia, you might just get different styles of music, but you wouldn't get like vastly different languages or vastly like immense changes in culture or immense changes in religion. Very rare. The fact that you even see like a Jewish person is like, what the fuck? It's like there's other religions.
There's not a lot of diversity, yeah. Especially when you step out of like capital cities, like you yeah, you will not.
That's truly when you get to see the actual country, though. Like,
correct.
Like Venezuela, it's like beautiful when you go to like they call them Los Llanos, you know. It's like you go to like
the plains.
The plains, you know, like the countryside kind of thing.
It's like where all the farmers are.
Yeah, there you get like specific genres of music, like called llaneras.
But you see, that's where our culture is rich in, like the differences between takes of music, and how the colonial aspect of it kind of like intertwine with our native beliefs too.
But predominantly speaking, it's only two styles of music.
And
that, like in maybe three. Like you have like gaitas, which is very, very popular. You have llaneras, and then you have what's like Simon Diaz. What do you call that type of style?
Llaneras.
No, he's got like it's like
Vals.
I guess, right, to a certain extent, right?
We do have a lot of different styles. Like we also have like música de los Andes, which it's vastly different to like what you hear from.
Yeah, you get like what are those the versions of a Christmas carols for us?
That's cool.
Mother.
Aguinaldos.
You know, so yeah, you have like 5. What other styles are like the cute, like uniquely Venezuelan? It's like llaneras, gaitas, vols. Well, that's obviously, but let's just pretend. Aguinaldos. What else?
But you see those, like I said, those are the.
Those are very popular amongst all of South America. They're not just like vols and aguinaldos. A lot of the stories are just Venezuelan, but
none of them. But to be completely honest, none of them are intertwined to religion. That's what I mean. Like
I guess aguinaldos are because it's like this. A lot of them are like the story of Jesus, right?
But it's not. It's not the story. Like you know what I'm trying to say. No. Okay, fair enough. Maybe I'm just tripping out.
It's certainly not as vast as this. Obviously, size of the country, population.
We're literally not even a quarter.
Yeah, like probably like put into perspective, like Venezuela's probably just a speck in comparison to like
we're probably a little state
in comparison.
In India.
Yeah, like in comparison to like the importance in terms of historically speaking of and the role that India had to play in human history. Mm-hmm. Go on. See, they always wear the turbans. I wonder I wonder why.
Oh. Love you guys. No, we love you. You guys are cool.
They danced Sirhum Musvala as well.
This is so cool. Again, like I'm saying, it's just the style of dance.
What the fuck? They don't make any money off their stuff. Look at that. They just do it for the love of the music.
Okay, turn it down a little bit. So high.
Yeah, neither do we, bruv, but this gets blocked.
Yeah, I'm telling you, they freaking get those thighs working out 100% way of Bhangra. How freaking dope is that? Yeah, I'm telling you, those chunky legs come from that working out.
Yeah, there you can see.
Hey, listen, skip leg day.
Dance Bhangra. There's an ad right there.
Come on, look at that. Just go in.
So go on Wikipedia.
Yes.
They scare me. Sidhu sometimes scares me because his label's kind of rough with reviews.
Okay, so here it is.
So
this
Bhangra,
is what I found.
Punjabi. It's a type of traditional folk dance. This is folk dance originating in the Sialkot area of Punjab. It is done in the season of harvesting.
Cool.
According to Manu, 2001. Bhangra is especially associated with the vernal Vaisakhi festival. In a typical performance, several dancers execute vigorous kicks, leaps, and bends of the body, often with upright thrusting arm and shoulder movements, to the accompaniment of short songs called Boliang, and mostly significant to the beat of a dol, double-headed drum. Or is that dolak again? Oh no, it's a dol. Oh, it's because dolak is a bit smaller, dol is the bigger version. Okay, nice. Remember that, Efra.
Okay.
Struck with a heavy beater. That's right. That's with the little sticks thing. So with a heavy beater on one end and a lighter stick on the other end. The dol, it would be dol, right? It would be pronounced like that. Imbues the music with a, like, bola, red dola. I love that song so much. I fucking put it on and I dance. Swinging rhythmic character that has generally
it's not
remained
a pretty picture, people.
a hallmark of Bhangra music. You know what? I want to do this. Once, say by a roll of dice, we actually do end up like being able to sell stadiums or some shit like that.
Oh no, so
like,
women dance it too.
Nice, good. I love women. And yeah, so in the odd chance that we actually do get a chance to like perform in front of you guys and stuff like that, I would love to bring different artists like in our show from different parts of the world and different cultures and different genres. And like you go like in one week we do like a show it's like this, and then we bring some like Punjabi artists and we collaborate with them or something like that. And maybe I wear like I play the doll, just for the fucking banner. It'd be amazing, dude, if we could.
It's shared
Bhangra.
in
Pakistan
too.
Yeah.
North American life.
Or maybe that shot was just taken in Pakistan.
Could have been too. What fun attire as well. They got one of the coolest things to wear.
I just don't know how they don't boil to death.
No, they do.
They just sort of hustle it
They
out.
just do. But it's cool, bro. Again, I think that's perhaps one of the funnest art ways of dance that we have seen today.
So, I think
but this is folk dance.
I think we have checked out a lot of Indian classical dance, a few folkloric dances, and I think that does it some justice. Like if you're going into this like not knowing anything about dance in India and where things originate, I think this would be quite good. I don't know if this would be the most popular thing in the world. It was just a great one to do for ourselves.
I think I was just genuinely super curious about it, given the fact that I don't know, from my dance background, I just thought I'd like to see, because it's so detailed and so rich in its own way, that I would love to understand. Like I wanted to try to understand some of the roots. So I suppose my question stands: where did it originate? Where did it all start?
So if you made it to this far, thank you so much, and I hope you found it as enlightening as we did, and I hope it was somewhat entertaining, and maybe for the next one we can do sort of commercial. You know, there's lots of great dance groups in India. There's lots of great female commercial dancers.
There's a lot of fusion styles that come from India, and I actually think even here in London, when the dancing that is so prominent and so big, a lot of styles that you see commercially done right now are tons of them are fusions of India.
Yeah, you start to see where everyone got it from. Like you see, Shakira definitely took inspirations from Indian classical dance. Also, she was very big in the traveling community, right? It was like Arabic as well.
Yeah, she has Arabic descent.
Right? So mix and match, you know what I mean? Who else has probably taken inspo that comes to my head that's become popular in the West? And I've always wondered, like, where did that come from? Shakira is probably the one that comes to mind first.
Yeah, I would think so.
Like, where the fuck did she get that idea from? You know what I mean?
Well, watching a lot of Bollywood movies when you were
also the Gypsy King was talking about it, Tyson Fury. He was talking about some of the dance he would watch when he was growing up, stuff like some of in the traveling community, like some of the girls would wear specific clothes that kind of looked like similar to what Shakira was doing as well. So I'm sure.
Also, like the gypsy culture in Spain, it's pretty.
Oh right, yeah, that's right.
It's pretty similar to what Shakira would eventually move into.
Right.
So she's a really interesting. Fusion of things, like from the Latin American culture to the travelers ways of community from Spain. Not so much like the Irish, but
it's like fighters. Yeah, what the fuck,
dude?
It's insane. Yeah, like they used to do bare knuckle fighting, just normal.
Crazy. Okay.
It's insane.
This is incredible. I love everything that we have experienced today, and I do apologize for all our ignorant questions.
We should stop apologizing.
No, but it's just like I feel like it probably is embarrassing for some of you. But thank you all as well for all your kind and expansive information coming to this podcast, and I guess we will see you on the next one. I'm sure everyone wants to show you.
Accept my apology. If this was really bad, at least you got to see a cool yo-yo. I was really bad.